I was born in Banja Luka, and I lived there until I was 14. And I consider it a pretty wonderful childhood. I think a lot of people that look back to Bosnia before the war will say the same thing, but mine really was. When I was 14 in '92, war broke out in Bosnia, and my father pretty quickly got involved with an organization that was doing everything in their power to help people in a humanitarian efforts, and helped bring Red Cross into that part of the country, and went to the concentration camps around Prijedor and negotiated a release a lot of the prisoners. And because of his work, he was pretty much targeted by the Serb government that was in the city at the time, and they started getting a lot of threats towards his family. And I was 14, and so I was sort of the prime age of the girls that were taken to these rape camps, and my parents pretty much panicked and sent me out as quickly as they could. So I got out of Bosnia towards the end of May, right before my 15th birthday. The situation back home got worse and worse and worse, and the moment that my mom came out, she started plotting how we're going to go further, because Croatia at the time was under politically a right-wing party, and they were very anti-immigrants, and there was a huge influx of Bosnian refugees that they considered a nuisance, in the nicest way, saying that. And my mom really didn't want me and my brother to grow up in an environment in which we would be other, like the people would point fingers at us or anything. We had many rigorous interviews, went through something like 3 or 4 of them, and had to prove that we couldn't go back. And my dad, being very politically involved in the city that was occupied by the Serb forces, and his life being threatened on a daily basis, was our ticket to America. Based on that, we were one of the first families approved, and part of the deal was we would, after a year of living we would come here on a political asylum, and after a year we would get a green card, and after 5 years we could apply for citizenship if we're interested. We all did, so we're all American citizens now.
Welcome back to Behind the Lines. We're talking about CHOC. Joining Adrian and myself now is from the community, Deborah Miller. You are the community care coordinator for ISACS.
I am.
Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for inviting me.
You volunteer with CHOC, and you also are involved with ISACS involvement. So how did you get involved volunteering?
Well, I have to be honest in saying my story starts a bit self-serving.
Okay.
At ISACS, one of my jobs is to get opportunities for employees to volunteer. And I kind of try to do a whole different variety. We do the Humane League, we do retirement centers, we do Water Street. I wanted to do something with homeless people. Mm-hmm. And so I was looking for an opportunity, and I go to First United Methodist Church in downtown Lancaster. And they are one of the 8 host churches for the Women's Emergency Overnight Winter Shelter. So that's how I got started.
Okay, and when was that?
That was December of 2009.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So from there, it just kind of grew, right?
It did. The first night we were there, I took a group of 7 or 8 ISACS employees, and there's a whole process of checking people in. And actually, we're fortunate we have showers there, so we actually can let them shower there. And we let them there for the night. They leave the next morning, they get their vouchers to go eat, and then they're at CHOC for the day. Mm-hmm. They come back the next night. I remember going home that night feeling really empty, because I felt like I hadn't really connected with the women. Mm. And we were sort of just taking care of their physical needs. And I felt a desire in my heart to do something deeper than that. So I came back another week and another week. And I realized you take a name and you put it with a face. Mm-hmm. And it's not just a homeless person anymore. Mm-hmm. It's an individual. And I would see the women walking on the streets. Yeah. And I would pull over and I would talk to them. I was looking for something that I felt I could do for the community. and I think I found it for these women.
So what does that do for you, Deborah, seriously?
You know, I truly believe that we all have something to give. And we all can give at different levels. You know, some can easily write a check. And you know, CHOP needs money, and we need those people who can write checks. We have people who are great with collecting items for them, because I realize simple things like homeless women need clean underwear. So I started a drive and I collected underwear and clothing and socks. And one of my friends collected hundreds of pairs. And I really feel like she had this gift of volunteering in a different capacity. And then I just really wanted to get to know these women on a very personal level. And since the Women's Shelter Program ended in March, I now am a mentor to a homeless woman who was part of the church program through TLC. Okay. So that's sort of my ongoing thing now, is mentoring this woman.
So what's involved with that?
With TLC's program?
With the mentoring program, yes.
The commitment I don't think is big at all as far as time. We talk or text weekly, we get together. The requirement is once a month, but we get together at least twice. And the caseworker's job primarily ends when they go into their own independent living. And we call them a match. She lives on her own now. But I'm sort of just there to walk the next year or two. And for me, I think it's a lifetime friendship with her, and be there to go through her ups and downs and kind of be a friend, but also make sure that she stays on the right track.
Yeah, that's great. Now, Isaac's is very involved with the community, very much so. Talk about the involvement that Isaac specifically has with CHOC, and I believe there's something coming up too.
There's something very exciting coming up. Get your calendars out.
Yes.
November the 17th is right in the middle of National Hunger and Homeless Awareness Week. And we are doing it all 7 Lancaster County Isaacs from 5 to 9 p.m., what we call a community night fundraiser. And anyone who comes out to eat, we're going to be donating 20% of all evening sales that night to CHOC.
That's wonderful.
Very exciting.
That's great.
Yeah.
And then the day after that,
CHOC will be having an open house on November 18th, and that'll be to celebrate our 3rd anniversary of being a center.
okay.
Our birthday.
Yes,
Yes.
birthday. Your birthday. Yeah. Right now, as far as men and women, are there more women, more men, children? Who is this servicing?
When we were there in the churches from December to the end of March, our full capacity, I think we had 21 one night.
Okay.
And I know one woman had a child, and then I heard of another family, but I never was involved with them because I wasn't there every night. And they really are all ages and all ethnicities and all levels of education. You know, one person was checking books out of the library. It really challenged my personal prejudices. We have a face of homelessness, and I think it's really changed. You know, so many people live paycheck to paycheck. And, you know, I leave the shelter feeling so blessed because I have family who loves me and and friends who I really believe will be there for me if I'm ever in a bad situation. But boy, I feel so sad when you have nobody and you're out on the street.
And that's what it is. It's a support network. For those of us that have, families and friends, and where CHOC comes in, they become this support family and network, right?
Yes, that's correct.
It's interesting because these women sort of became a band together, and like all winter long, they sort of stuck together and they went from church to church to church. And now I do know a lot of them do have their own housing, which I think is really exciting. And we're getting ready to start the winter shelter program again in December.
Okay.
And I have December 7th have my Isaac's employees lined up.
There you go.
It's part of company culture, is getting back to the communities that have made us successful, as far as a successful for-profit entity. And we really
Hello and welcome to another episode of your Human Service News and Information. I'm Hassan Rashid, your host, and I'll be here with you for approximately 20 more minutes. It's excellent being here with you. It's such a great achievement, and it's awful, and it's an awful great accomplishment to come into your lives like we do here daily at Cctv. Thank you for joining us once again, and with that, I welcome you and extend an international, universal cordial out to you, and that is peace. Okay, welcome to your Human Service News and Information. Okay, I guess you're wondering about what that opening video was about, but that was provided to us by the people who are responsible for the National Week of Hunger and Homelessness, which will take place from November 11th to November 18th. So there are a lot of organizations that are participating this week, and hopefully stand by, and we're going to share some new information with you and how you and your human service organization can participate in the National Week on Hunger and Homelessness, which will take place from November 11th to November 18th. And that was the good folks, the human service folks, opening video talking about homelessness and how it relates to the National Week of Hunger and Homelessness. We're going to try to get some more videos on to you about that, but you know how important homelessness and hunger is. You know, it's getting winter. There's a lot of folks out in the street and they're doing without. They don't have a roof over their head. They don't have shelter. They don't have food. So this week we'll put that week, National Week of Hunger and Homelessness, will put the emphasis on those folks out there in the street without. So if time permits, we're gonna try to get back into some more videos. But okay, we got a kind of a delayed start here, but I do want to fill you in on just a few things that's happening here at CCTV. Okay, I guess that's transpired already. So we'll move on to the next thing. Okay, they're having a class here entitled Editing Concept. That's going to be held on Thursday, 6 to 9 p.m., November 9th and 16th, with Anthony Medell. So for members, it's $40. For non-members, it's $60. Enrollment is required. So to sign up, call 617-661-6900. And we're at 438 Massachusetts Avenue, Cambridge Community Television. And I always try to start the broadcast off with something that's being offered for you right here at CCTV. And but I'll tell you, my time is limited, but if you like the full rundown of what's going on here at CCTV, inside the studio and outside the studios, etc., etc., you can stop right out front. There's a little newsstand, and you can pick up the CC newsletter. I think that's entitled Open Studios. It's right there available for you. If you don't see it out there in front, 438 Massachusetts, you come right on in and request it at the receptionist, and they'll be glad and happy to give you a copy of the Open Studio, and that's the CCTV's newsletter. And with that, you can find out what's going on at CCTV inside the studio and what's being offered to you and the community at large for 3 months in advance. Okay, 3 months in advance. And I'd also like to remind you that the Election Commission is having one of their final meetings before the election, which is going to take place November 6th, and that's tonight, 51 Inman Street, from 5:30 to about 8 o'clock. And this is a meeting. They're inviting the community to come out, and anything you'd like to discuss about last minute things that you have in your mind about the election, you can call right out to 51 Inman Street tonight and discuss it with the Election Commission. That's 51 Inman Street, right here in Cambridge, and they're having public comment. So they're inviting you. You're welcome to come in and talk about the election. So once again, November 6th. That's November 6th. Now that's Monday. Okay, excuse me. The deadline to request an absentee ballot is Monday, November 6th, and the election, the deadline to return the absentee ballot is Tuesday, November 7th at 8 p.m. So I think that's a day that with the understanding of that the election's not going to be held on the 6th, but maybe it will be, and the date to return the absentee ballots are on the 7th. Okay, but if you like more specific information, exact information, you can call the Election Commission at 617-349-4361. Very important elections here. I want to I got a slate of candidates here. I don't know if we have time to read them all, but we got a slate of candidates. So city council candidate and school committee candidates. So I just want to see if I can refresh in your mind, or put some of these names on the top of your mind, and you can hold them there until the election. Okay, so there's for city council, there's 26 people: Ronald Benjamin, Josh Bergen, Dennis J. Carlon, Olivia D'Ambroso, Jan Deverett, Samuel Gabbard, Richard Harding Jr., Craig A. Kelly, Dan Linke, Ian Levy, Elaine M. Mellon. Okay, there's Mark C. McGovern, Greg C. Morey, Adrian B. Musgrove, Nada T. Okamoto, Harry I. Filai, Jeff Santos, Sambu Siddiqui, E. Dennis Simmons, Vasily Sivangaye. Okay, Brian Sutton, Sean Turney, Paul F. Toner, Timothy J. Tomer J. Jr., Gwen Thomas Volmore, Quentin J. Zondervan. Okay, for the school committee, I'm just going to read the names off to you, share the names with you, and you can go from there. Okay, that's Monica L. Bowman, Fran A. Cronin, Jake A. Crutchfield, Emily R. Dexter, Alfred B. Fatini, Elichi M. Cadet, Kathleen M. Kelly, Lawrence Kimbrough, William MacArthur, Priority Flawisu Mitros, Patricia M. Nolan, and David Weinstein. And those are the candidates. That's the city council candidates, the school council candidates that are on the ballot this year for school committee and the city council. So if you're invited to exercise your right to participate in elected officials by voting for the candidates of your choice. I'm Hassan Rashid, and this is your Human Service News and Information. So I just wanted to put a little extra emphasis on the election because it's one of the most highlighted important events of the year here in Cambridge, because the future of Cambridge depends on who sits in the city council and who sits on the school committee. The school committee has a bearing on the future of our city because the young people are involved. Okay. I'd like to share some information about the United States Postal Service is hiring for the holiday season. Holiday casuals. Don't forget now, everything steps up during the holiday season, and the United States Postal Service, they're in need of additional employees to help them with the extra task that's thrown upon them to make sure that the mail gets out to you, the holiday mail, which is it's double, triple. Okay, the PSA is hiring for the holiday season, holiday casual duties, handling or processing of mail, or a combination of duties during their busiest season of the year. That's holiday wages, $15 plus. To apply, go to United States Postal Service, that's USP.com/careers, and you can apply right online. Once again, at USPS.com/careers. Location available: Boston, Brockton, Shrewsbury, and North Reading. So that's the busiest time of year, and there's plenty of work out there with the United States Postal Service. Okay, I got a little bit more here for you. Okay, let's see if we can find this out. Okay, the 2007 Fall Conference of the
really feel very obligated, and that's really part of who we are.
Not yet. We're just we're gonna get around to you. Okay, so your horses. Okay, a little technical difficulty here, but as I was saying, the 2017 Fall Conference of the National Association of Housing. Okay, that's National Association of Housing Officials. Okay, that's a MASNARO. That's 2017 Fall Conference will be held Hotel 1620 Plymouth, November. That's Plymouth, Math, November 13th to 14th. The Professional Development Membership Service Committee has arranged for speakers and timely topics to fill the agenda and appeal to commissioners, directors, and staff. So invited guest speakers include U.S. Congresswoman Catherine Clark, House Ways and Means Chairman Jeffrey Sanchez, former public housing residents, and Secretary J. Ash, both Department of Housing, Community Development, and Housing Urban Development will staff resource rooms for a conference to receive one-on-one technical assistance. The charity fundraiser at this year's conference will benefit hurricane victims. More information on how to participate to follow. That's so you're invited to register. That's your agency, housing agency, human service agencies. You're invited to registration. Register today. All conference material are available at MASNARO. Okay, website at www.masnaro.org. 1 and 2 day registration plans are available, and scholarships can be requested for small agencies with financial limitations. A block of rooms at the hotel is reserved for conference attendees at the special group rate. Room reservations can be made online or by calling the hotel directly at 508-747-4900. The deadline to reserve room is October. Okay, the deadline is gone. So, but you can still register. There are plenty other venues, hotel venues in that area. That's Plymouth. Attend the conference to learn from the valuable sessions and networks with colleagues. So if you like information on additional hotels, the registration period for that is gone. You can call 508-747-4900. So that's the 2017 Fall Conference of the MASNARO. That's the Mass Associations of Housing that housing officials. Okay. And it's a 2017 conference will be at the Hotel 620 in Plymouth, Massachusetts. So I just thought I'd pass along that to you because a lot of our members in our viewer space has something to do with public housing and affordable housing, etc., etc., etc. Okay, I'm Hassan Rashid, and this is your human service news and information. Okay, I just want to see if there's anything else I should share with you concerning this upcoming election. Okay, that's okay. So, well, I guess not. Other than the fact that there's a meeting, final meeting, a wind down meeting. They're winding down the election commission. They're having tonight at 51 Emma Street, and you're invited to attend and offer any public comments that you have concerning the electoral processes for 2017, electoral process for 2017, and our local elections or statewide elections too. You can go over there and discuss it, or if you have any questions, you can get them answered. That's 51 Emma Street. That's the election commission. Okay, so that's 51 Emma Street. And I don't know if you can make any phone calls tonight because after 5, that meeting don't start until 5:30. So I don't know if you can make any phone calls, but maybe okay, tomorrow you can make some calls, and you can, if you have additional or any questions that you feel that you must know, have answered before the election, you can call 617-349-4361. with any questions or or stop by the commission office. Okay, that's I said that's 151 Emma Street right here in Cambridge. Okay, I got another one more announcement before we get out of here and leave you for until next time. The Philip Brooks House Association presents their annual Robert Cole Awards Call of Service celebration. The coverage of the people's committed to social change. Okay, so this Friday their special guest will be gentleman Nahad Awad, and he's the executive director of the Council on American Islamic Relations. That's acronym CAIR, C-A-I-R. That's Nahad Awad, executive director, co-founder of the Council on American Islamic Relations, and he's going to be the guest speaker, keynote speaker at the Robert Cole's Call of Service celebration, entitled "The Courage of People Committed to Social Change." That's Friday, November 3rd at 6:30 p.m. Harvard Science Center. They usually have this at the Philip Brooks House itself, but this year they're going to have this celebration at the Harvard Science Center. That's I think that's 1 Oxford Street, and they're going to be in Hall C. So you write that down, or whatever, however you record information. That's Friday, November 3rd. Philip Brooks House Association presents Robert Cole's Call of Service celebration, and theme entitled "The Courage of People Committed to Social Change." And that's Friday, November 3rd. Keynote speaker will be Nahad Awad, executive director, co-founder of the Council on American Islamic Relations. I'm Hassan Rashid, and I always remind you that you should keep your nose clean and play it straight, and don't forget to assist someone in need of your help.